Okay, it's time to move on to correlation. Correlation means, is there a relationship between two variables? And for your dissertation, this is research question 3. Is there a relationship between self-reported levels of screen time and self-reported levels of motivation to read? So to do this, we'll go into Analyze, go to Correlate, Bivariate. Now what we want to do is move over our variables, these self-reported level of screen time, self-reported level of motivation to read. Down here, we want to make sure that Pearson and Spearman are both checked. In the options button, we want to make sure that, let's see, missing values, exclude cases, pairwise is selected, which it is. And then we will hit continue and OK. All right, so we have the two different variables. It's letting you know what the p-value is. That's your sig number. Now we want a sig value of 0.05 or less. And in this case, it's not showing a 0.05 or less. It's actually higher. So that's telling us that the relationship is not significant. Now down here in the non-parametric correlation, we see that the sig value is 0.079. So it's fairly close, but not quite 0.05 or less. In this case, then, I would say that there's not a significant relationship. Now, I don't want to get discouraged. I want to go ahead and look at Analyze Regression and Linear. And then I want to move one of these. Now, this is the, let's see which one this is. Self-reported levels of screen time. So that's not really our dependent variable. The dependent variable is the outcome that we want, which the outcome would be the motivation to read. So let's put those back in here. Oh, that's our screen time. Here we go. Motivation to read goes up here. So that's the dependent variable. That's your desired outcome. We want to see, do the kids have a motivation to read? And we want to see if the screen time numbers play into that at all. Now we'll go into the independent box here. We've got method, should be enter. Yes. We have statistics. Click on that. There's quite a few buttons to push here. So we have estimates, confidence intervals, model fit, descriptives, part and partial correlation, and collinearity diagnostics. Down here, we want to make sure that this box, case-wise diagnostics, is checked and hit continue. Then in the options button, make sure that this is exclude cases pairwise and hit continue. And in the save button, oh, actually we'll go to plots first. In the plots button, we want to move the ZRESID to your Y box and the ZPRED to the X box. And then down here in standardized residual plots, we want normal probability. Hit continue. Now in the save box, we'll click on this and this and hit continue and OK. All right. So what this is telling us then is we'll see another correlations. Here we have the coefficients. This is for the actual regression test, which we do see a 0.000 sig value for the constant, which constant is basically looking at itself. So that doesn't matter to us. We wanted to see if the level of screen time has any relationship to motivation to read. And again, we're seeing the sig value of 0.112, so that's just too high. But let's just go ahead and take a look at the rest of these boxes just to make sure. And the correlations this time is a little bit better. It's 0.056, so it's really close. And then let's come down here and look at our other tables and our charts. So I'm not seeing any sort of outlier. If we had an outlier, I would remove that student's information and then retest it, because we're so close to the 0.05 value that I would do that, but I'm not seeing any outliers. And yeah, so it looks like our, for research question 3, which I'll bring this over here then. Research question 3, is there a relationship between self-reported levels of screen time and self-reported levels of motivation to read? It's not a statistically significant relationship. So I think we can say no. We can also put our tables there to show the information because it is close. So I think it's worthwhile in looking at the actual tables themselves for the t-test and the correlation and the regression, because it's so close that I don't want to disregard the relationship altogether. But we can say confidently that it's not a statistically significant relationship. And for the other research questions 1 and 2, these we should have been able to answer with our descriptive statistics. All right, I think that takes care of everything.